another beautiful day. Yeah, it's Monday. Hope your 5 senses work. Health and strength is good. What? Let me stop playing here. Alright, now, to you, listen to this. You remember when people was laughing at the Xbox Series S, saying they can't play physical games anymore? Well, those days are done. The Xbox Series S can play physical games. Listen to this. Microsoft patent could verify physical games for Xbox digital library. Microsoft files a patent for a method of external validating ownership of game disc, which could let the Xbox Series S players access physical games. Said the two most recent console generation have been a market shift away from physical disc-based games and towards digital downloads straight onto the console. While there are some that remains adamantly in favor of physical games, the option is becoming less and less substantial. The disc for many modern games like Halo Infinite don't hold the entire game and require a digital download and an online connection to play. Says here, this current trend for an online connection requires in digital games was first forecasted by Microsoft at the Xbox Showcase revealed for the Xbox One back in 2013. Sorry about that. Where the reaction was so overwhelmingly negative that Microsoft backtracked on many of the features announced for Xbox One. However, over time, many of these features have since crept into the home console. Says here, digital games have now become so prevalent that both Xbox and PlayStation next-gen consoles have versions without disk drive. These digital-only options are cheaper, but do leave some players with a few worries. However, Microsoft has now filed a patent for a system which may eliminate one of these worries for Xbox Series S buyers. Says the patent describes a system that allows an external disk drive to authenticate an Xbox game and allow the player access to the digital version of that game through the Xbox Series S game store. Yeah, so what that means, you can take an external drive now and connect it to the Series S, and you can play your physical games. Yeah. Anyway, says here, and it shows the diagram here too. I'm gonna leave a link in the description box. It says here, a system like this would benefit players that feared any Xbox One disc they own would become useless after purchasing an Xbox Series S. Whereas on Xbox Series X, they could have played non-Connect Xbox One games. This is a huge element of backwards compatibility to miss out on for players that are upgrading to next gen after exclusively purchasing physical games for Xbox One. It would also help any game Series S. It would also help any Xbox Series S players that receive a physical game as a gift from friends or family who don't understand that the disc is not compatible even if it's for the right system. Says here, it's unknown whether the patent would allow players to redeem a digital version of the game to add it permanently to their digital library, or whether the patent would simply be the basis for an external disk drive Xbox Series S player could purchase if they wanted to play backwards compatible Xbox One games. It would seemingly unlike that players would be allowed to duplicate their copies of game if there were any chances the disc would then be sold and duplicate again. Though perhaps the patent could identify whether the disc had been validated before, like with the code for redeeming digital games through the Xbox Game Store. And last paragraph here says here, the patent description also seems to suggest that an Xbox One could be linked with the Xbox Series S and used as the external disk drive for authenticating the game, but whether they could be linked wirelessly or would require a connection is unclear. So based on this little diagram here, shows the Xbox One, shows the user device, then it shows the user device a phone, and then it shows the user device like I think like a laptop. Then it got like a network. Then it shows the server and the service. So basically, with this drive now, you can use it and connect it to the Xbox Series S, and then copy the game to the Xbox Series S, and then play your game. It will be just like when you buy an Xbox One game and you put it in the drive, and then the game start to install, and then whether you label your library of game by alphabetical order or by file size, that's the order the game would go in, and it would be installed. So yeah, the Xbox Series S can play physical games. And for those YouTubers who made fun of the Series S when the Series S first came out, they're going to have to retract those statements. The Xbox Series S can play physical games with an external drive. Okay, so yeah, that's the news I got to report on the Series S, and the Series S is good too. It can run games at 1440p, not 1080p. It can't run games in 4K. The Series X can't. The Series X can, and the Xbox One X can. That was the first console with 4K technology in it. So those are two consoles that can play games in 4K. And since we're in the pandemic, and smart delivery, it's still in play here. The Xbox One X has really benefited from the pandemic, because you can play those same games that the Series X and Series S is getting on the Xbox One X, so you can run those games in 4K. So the Series X really benefited. And the console is still good. But now we're in the Series S and Series X, and some games that are running on the Series X right now, Xbox One X, that are running on the Xbox One X, those games won't be playable anymore. Depending on how the pandemic goes, the Series X might be carried over into another year, depending on how the pandemic continues, if it gets any worse. But take DC Universe for a minute. DC Universe is getting an upgrade, a graphical upgrade for the Series S, Series X, and PlayStation 5. So people that are playing games on the Xbox One X and the PlayStation 4 Pro, those people that are playing DC Universe on those consoles won't be able to do it next year, depending on how the pandemic goes. You know what I'm saying? Depending on how the pandemic goes with the shipping charges. Those people that are using PS4 Pro and Xbox One X, they can't play DC Universe on those consoles next year, right? And because of the graphical upgrade. So, but again, depending on if the pandemic raises to another level, then the PS4 Pro and Xbox One X players are saved. But if not, then when DC Universe next year, when DC on DC Universe, when they get that graphical upgrade, PS4 Pro and Xbox One X players can't play. but the Series S, Series X players and PS5 players can play. But other than that, man, the Series S is pretty good. You're getting it for a good price. But now you can play your physical games. Yes. And there you have it. So yeah, there will be more updates coming to this there will be more updates to this update that just happened now. So I mean, based on the patent that was just filed. So Series S players are in good shape. I have seen Xbox. I personally have seen Xbox Series S for $200 flat. You know, and on Amazon they were just sitting there. You know, so whoever got those consoles now, they can be happy. They're happy now that they got it, because with this new patent that's just been filed, they can play their physical games now on the Series S. So yeah, Xbox Series S is good, man. You know, so it's for those. And it's a good budget too, because it's for people who can't afford the Series X. It's for people. It was really for people who just like digital games, you know. But now you can play physical on it. So now the Xbox Series S now is a force to be reckoned with, you know. And you're getting it for a good price, man. So yeah. And right now, we're in May. We're in May right now. May, June, July, August, September, October. DC Universe. I mean, not DC Universe. Gotham Knights. And then November, Starfield. Series S is good, man. So, and also too, what makes the Series S pretty good is the price that you're getting it for is good. But also have a nice good TV to play it on, man. So you can utilize that hardware to its full potential, you know. You know, people on YouTube have a tendency to say negative things about the Series S because it's either they jump the gun or they lack insight on the hardware or what it can really do. You know, but the Series S it's pretty good, man. For $300, $299. Oh yeah, you're getting your money's worth with it. Now you can play your physical games. But anyway, I'll leave this article with this video so y'all can enjoy it. Nice talking to you people again. Chris, still Star Wars, Star Trek thing.